Alright, Mega Von and everybody on YouTube, how's it going? I am Poteen and I'm doing another rotation video, this time on the Red Line Lore Master. If you guys know, this isn't a pet heavy build, it's a lot of damage, a lot of area effect, a lot of fire and lightning. It's very, very fun. I very much enjoy it. So I'm just going to go over what the rotations will be and stuff. I'm going to start off with, I can't remember now. Class traits, racial or race traits, then the virtues, my allies. But then I'll go over the rotation I'm using and what situations I'm going to be doing. We'll go through the whole maze here. We'll go to the first bosses for sure. We'll see how well that goes, and then we'll go to the second boss if we have to. I don't feel like even the red line has quite enough health to handle the last two, the twins or the brothers. But we'll see. And then I'll recap and then finish the video. So if you guys do like this content, please like it, subscribe. If you do have any comments or any suggestions, be more than welcome to comment. I will get to it. I do have it on a 2-week cycle that I go through the comments on YouTube and reply back. So don't be afraid to do that. If you catch my streams, I stream on Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok nightly. Sundays and Mondays I play EverQuest Live. Tuesdays and Wednesdays I play Dungeons & Dragons Online, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I stream twice on Saturday. I stream once for the official LOTRO team, and then I stream after that for my own. So 3 days, 4 streams. All right. So with that, let's get started. Okay, so obviously Master of Nature Fury. This is going to be Strength of Nature and Damage of Foes. So the first one's obviously, I'm just going to go through all of them and then kind of see how some of them might stack up on each other and stuff. But Masters of the Unseen, this lets me see the Unseen World, making the most of Nature's Fury. So tactical damage is increased by 10. Damage of Fire, obviously fire damage is increased by 25%. And Master of Storms, lightning is 25%. So Burning Earth. Cracked Earth still burns hotter, dealing additional damage. So Cracked Earth now will do 30% more damage, which you'll see me use that one. The other one is Storm and Staff. So what this does is every 15 seconds, my lightning will crackle around my staff. I believe up to 3 charges. Actually, I think it's just one whole one, but there's 3 that circle it. And a lightning strike will happen. Why that's important is as you start to stack fires up, lightning has a chance to kind of ignite the fire, and it'll do extra damage. Fend them off. So Staff Strike, 100% flank damage. So obviously behind them is going to do a little more damage. Unyielding Sweep, so +8 to Staff Sweep critical buff duration. Lightning Storm. Now this is my area effect big damager, which you'll see me use quite a bit. What's after that? Fierce Lightning, so a 100% chance for lightning skills to ignite targets. So that's just a dot that'll happen. Ember, now Burning Embers will now have 3 extra pulses with slow burn. This is another great ability called Ring of Fire. It only appears in front of you, but it does do a lot of damage every second, about 3,500. Obviously, that'll change as you level, but does a lot of damage for 15 seconds every second. These are going to stack into my Burning Embers, so 100% chance for Gust of Wind to spread Burning Embers. Dry Kindling. Burning Embers can be reapplied up to twice. So you can have it out. Lightning will cash it out. Ancient Fire. So gives Gust of Wind a chance to upgrade the Burning Embers dot effect, which obviously we just saw with Dry Kindling. It'll go up to 2. Nature's Fury, this is just a nasty, huge damager that does a lot of lightning. It'll do fire damage, does pretty much all of it. Frost. So it has a 2-minute cooldown, so just keep that in mind. And then Fire Shield. So you still need to wait every 5 seconds after Shield expires to trigger a new one, but you have a 25% chance for fire skills to trigger the Shield. Now, I did go into my potency skills of Wizard Sigils or Sigil. All of them do 30% more damage. I do use one of them here, which is going to be Wizard's Fire. And I do sometimes touch in the Wizard's Frost, but not too much with this build, just because it doesn't do that big power I'm looking for. Grasping Earth, Crackle Earth will now root up to 3 seconds, so that's kind of nice. I believe Cracked Earth is now it's up to 5 targets, which we'll see. And I do always like to have Bane Flare, just because anything that gets close to me, it's always nice to be able to daze them for 15 seconds. Obviously, some of the burns will, interrupt that, but not a big deal. So all of our side abilities here are improved ignition. So lightning skills gain the ability to consume burning embers for bonus damage, which I just explained there. Masters of Element. After using a lightning skill, your frost skills will slow enemies, so that's obviously already a thing that happens with that. But it's pretty cool. It also increases all of the fire, lightning, and frost damage. So staff sweep. I will be using a lot of staff damage, which you'll see me use here. Um, so this is an area effect version of that. Sticky Gourd, I do like Sticky Gourd. It has a nice debuff and also area effect damage. This one is Quickening Flame. So fire skills reduce the induction of your offensive skills. This effect can stack up to 2. So that's why I'm using my fire skills first. So this is Ents Go to War. This is a huge damage ability. That's area effect. You will see me use it during the big pulls with multiple targets. And Flame of Anar. When a target is afflicted by burning embers, your Wizard's Frost will fix it in place, consuming it to reapply and tear up over time. Continuously reapplying or tearing up burning embers each time Wizard's Fire pulses. So basically, Wizard's Fire is going to get an extra pulse. Any embers, any burning embers that's already on it, with every Wizard's Sigil's pulse, it increases the dot damage that goes in. So that is going to be the rotation or the class traits I'm going into. I apologize. I am trying to think, but I can't. For my race traits, there's not too much. I just do Man of the Fourth Age. Willpower is going to be up. Tactical might probably won't even see me use that. Duty calls. This is a max morale, which I don't know why I don't have that on there. I should. So I apologize. That's not. Oh no. I should have pulled that ability off. After that, I do have Strength and Morale. You will see me hopefully not have to use it. And then Balance of Man, which is going to be a evade rating, parry rating. Okay, so for the virtues, we have Confidence. I'm going to go for critical damage and physical and tactical damage because I just want to go. This is just a pure DPS build. Confidence going to give me critical rating, finesse rating, and evade rating, which is always nice because I will be getting close to target kind of range stuff. Sorry, Athrobith. So with that one, obviously our passive bonuses is physical mastery and tactical mastery. Mercy, I have evade. Oh, letting us know that Durin's Day is on. Mercy, so evade rating, fate, vitality, and max morale is my passive bonus. Honesty, I have tactical mastery rating, will, and critical rating. Then my passives are tactical and physical rating. This one's going to do max power increase, so it increases my max power by 10. Evade rating, critical rating, and then max morale. I am going a little more defensive just because I am going to be getting closer targets. I don't have a pet to protect me, things like that. Now, there is some pet stuff, but it's only time. And then wisdom, which is going to give me will, tactical mastery rating, finesse rating, and physical mastery and tactical mastery. All right. So I think that's it for those. Let's go through the LIs. I am missing one thing, but it's not really a big deal. So for my staff, I'm going to be using Herald or Heraldry of the okay, so what that gives me is will, vitality, and tactical mastery. Incoming damage reduction. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to be doing that because I am going to be doing more staff work than most of the will armor or light armor are going to be doing. So that gives me incoming melee damage, incoming ranged, and physical mitigation. Now, staff skills. That's the next ability, so it's staff skill damage. Obviously, that's increased, and then finesse rating is increased. Ents go to war damage and cooldown. So Ents go to war damage is increased, and the cooldown is reduced in tactical mastery. Lightning strike, critical chance, multiplier. So that means lightning skill chance is increased, and lightning critical damage is increased, and my critical rating. Obviously, I went with heroic precision, which is another critical rating. All right, so this one I am missing a words of power, but it's not really that big a deal because it's just going to be single target attack damage or attack damage. But it's going to be a single target one, so that's what I would put in there. I just haven't get to the library anytime soon. So with that's again heraldry of the eagle, will, vitality, tactical mastery. Then single target attack damage. So obviously that's increased. My physical and tactical mastery is increased. I am missing that one, but it's because I leveled out here. So I just haven't been back. Craft earth damage is increased, and tactical mastery is increased. Lightning storm damage is increased for the next one, and tactical mastery rating is increased. Burning embers damage is increased, and tactical mastery ratings. And once again, I went with tactical mastery rating. Not once again. That was actually different than the crits, because this isn't the crits aren't as important as the damage overall. I mean, obviously crits are important, but I'm looking for that instead. So here we go. We'll go through our single target rotation. I like to always open it up with Burning Embers, and I like to put on Wizard's Fire. These are dots, and they do pretty good damage up close. And then the Lightning Strike. So why I follow Lightning Strike is that Lightning Strike has a chance to burn the fire and cause extra damage. Cracked Earth is one I'm going to be using just to kind of set it off. So those will be my first rotations. Anything that gets close to me, I will start using my staffs on them. And I have been known to use Power of Knowledge in order to take off just the first single target stuff. At any time, I'm also going to be throwing Water Lore on, just off and on while I'm fighting, just because it does initial healing and it does a dot over time for 32 seconds. So it's always nice to have this. 32 seconds, it's doing hots every 4 seconds. And then the cooldown is 10 seconds. So you can pretty much keep it on you pretty much regularly, which is kind of nice. With multiple targets. So if I'm pulling multiple targets, I will throw out Call of the Bears. Why I do this is it does 5 targets max, 7 meter radius, so you can actually send it out. But when I say that, it means whatever's within 7 meters of the target that I target when I throw this out. So it's kind of like an ability. It will do damage right away, so just know that when you use it, if anything gets resisted, they're going to attack. So you can throw it from 30 meters away, does 5 targets, fears them all for 15 seconds. So it's a great way to kind of just keep a bunch of stuff moving around while you just take out one target at a time. All right. For single target damage straight up, I will send in Call of the Lynx. These all share a cooldown, by the way. It's a 2-minute cooldown, so it's not anything too crazy. Like I said, I showed you in my traits. I like to have Bane Flare. It does 5 targets, only within 10 meters, so you want to make sure the targets are close to you or hitting you when you throw this up. And it will do up to 5 targets, so it does daze them. So it's a way just to kind of buy you some time. With things that are big, if it's a big single target, which you'll see me use Nature's Fury on them, especially on the bosses. But when it's just multiples, so if my bear's not working or it's on cooldown, I want to be able to use Lightning Storm. This is a huge area effect damager. Then I'm going to follow it up with Instant War. This could kill them. It could kill all of them. If it doesn't, then I'll throw up Sticky Gourd. If anything is very close to me, I'll always throw out Ring of Fire. In fact, I might just throw it out if stuff is just kind of beat me up a little bit and pretty nasty. If you want to, you can always, once you put these fires on, you can put Gust of Wind, which will just spread your fire to all the targets. So we'll see how that goes. We also have Wisdom of the Council. It has a big cooldown, but it will restore a lot of damage. So it's a heal. Knowledge of Cures. This always is going to be able to get rid of wounds, fears, poisons, things like that. I will use my strength and morale, and this is just a big heal, but it's got a 30-minute cooldown because it's a race trait. And then this one I don't really use unless I'm healing people, but sometimes, you know, that happens. Another thing is Call of the Valar. If you want to, it calls upon Wisdom of the Valar. Temporary immune to any induction setback. So it's really nice for that. It also, I believe it resets a couple stuff, like Sticky Gourd, things like that, if I'm not mistaken. So it is a way for you to temporarily get a hold of some of this these area effect skills that might be on long cooldown, so that's always nice for that. And then Sign of Power Vigilance, this allows you to see hidden. It also does a little bit of max healing for 10%, so, you know, it's not a bad one to always have, like over here, if you want to just kind of keep it there. So here we go. With that, we're going to go in here. We're just going to start smoking things with fire, lightning, and staff. All right? We will throw out our pets, but they do not stay out like the regular pets before them. They are on cooldowns, and they only stay out for a certain amount of time. So watch. Hopefully this just kind of busts them. Yeah, this has a pretty big hit. We got to remember this is a 6-man, so it is pretty devastating damage that is happening here. We're going to do the same thing, put our fire on. And then we're going to use our lightning damage, which should do quite a bit of damage to it, unless it was this, just it. And then we're just going to go through our stuff here. Alright? Now, I'm going to show you here how to use the bear. So I'm going to throw the bear out. Watch. Everybody's going to get feared. And damage. I'm going to get this guy pulled in here. That's another one. My staff is back. We'll just throw this on this guy because one man. Same thing here. We're gonna use our staff. We're gonna throw stuff on. Now the first staff ability does come back pretty regularly. Alright, now we're gonna do the same kind of thing here. We're gonna pull them. Now, a lot of the fire ones I can actually do while I'm moving, especially the sigils. So even though some of this might take a little bit longer to kill, I do just kind of do all these targets as single targets instead of doing multiple. Like, I'm not trying to burn my area effect damages yet, just because I will need them at some point if stuff goes bad and I'm doing multiple pulls. So the cooldowns are a little aggressive, so I'm trying not to use them too regularly until, like this, I'm going to throw my lure on, because I know he always spawns multiple. He always spawns a worm on. Now, I know that's over. I'm going to do staff damage because that does a lot of damage. The staff doesn't just do damage. It does lightning damage also when the lightnings are. So here's another one. I'm just going to show you how multiples do. So shift 1, this is going to be area effect. That's the lightning. And then I'm going to use the Ents. That should pretty much take care of them. But I'll throw a little stupid. I could have just done fire damage on that one. But as you saw there, it just destroys multiple targets. Same thing here. I'm going to throw out my bear. Then I'm going to use him. But I'm not, like, I don't have the control of, like, a yellow line or a debuffing of the yellow line. I don't have the pet command of the blue line. But I have, like, damage like Gandalf on the bridge when he was fighting the ball. Just devastating damage. Just a bunch of just... I love it. I love how powerful it is. I feel like with the pets it would have been too powerful, so I think it was a pretty good move of how they handled this. Where's this guy? Here. There he is. Oh, he resisted my fire, so I'm going to put the fire back on. But with that, too, I can't use my staff. There it was. Well, the fire can also trigger, or if they resist this, my staff can also trigger the burn for the lightning. There we go. We're pulling both, so let's just do it all. Now this time you will see me use my Ring of Fire. I did Ants, Sticky Gourd, Ring of Fire. There it was. Look at that. Ring of Fire is absolutely devastating. But I only really like to use it when the mobs are close to me and I have multiples that I don't really want to deal with. Same thing here. I'm not sure if the bear will be back in time, but we'll see. There we go. So we're going to use the bear this time. Obviously, 5 targets, 15-second feeder, so it buys me quite a bit of time. So I can single target them out. Apparently, we're just going to... There he is. Hey, sir. Same thing, we're just gonna put our fires on and burn them out with the fire. But another thing, too, if you want to do single target, you can throw Burning Ember out twice, which will tear up your dot, if you want to do that. Same thing here, as we mess with that, we obviously have... We're gonna throw that on as soon as they throw out a second target. There's no point in us not putting our water lore on. Once again, you can put water lore on every 10 seconds. Alright, here we go. Let's throw out fire. Let's throw out Ints. Let's throw out Sticky Gourd. There you go, he's dead. Alright, so now we're going to our first boss here. I feel like we're going to be fine with that. But as you see there, I have the flame shield on and my other flame aspect. So we're going to pull him. Pull up here again. We're going to throw up our water lore because we do not like to. Especially because we're fairies. Boom. Once again, do the fire first, then start to use your lightning skills. Because then you'll see that... We're going to do... Alright, let's do staff. We want the fire on, so then that lightning does more damage. Water lore again. We're gonna do staff damage, and then fire, and then the lightning will actually just water lore again. Cleansing and water loring. Not regularly, but pretty consistent. Pretty consistent. Alright, same thing here. We're just going to come around the corner here. Boom, boom. So the fire before the... lightning is very... That's what's going to give that extra oomph of damage. That's what's really chunking that off, is because I'm doing Burning Embers and Flame Sigil first. Okay, we got this. What we're going to do is throw a flare up. We're going to target this guy, and we are going to be very effective. Because I have a small chance of a bunch of worms coming in. There we go. That was pretty close. That could have been real bad. All I have to do is outdamage their damage that they do on me. Now, same thing. We're going to target this man, right? We still have a lot of our skills up. We're going to probably wait for our rage stuff to come up because we are going to have a lot of rage things here in a moment. When the worms come out, which the worms will come out after I kill, after the white collar goes green, then the worms will come out. Then is when I'll probably start to use this ability here because I want my setbacks, the call to the Valar, because I don't want any of my inductions to be messed with. And it'll also bring back all of my area effect abilities, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, instead of doing the bear, because I don't want to fear, I'm going to go with the lynx because I just want to do straight out damage. And you're going to see me go right into this. We're going to cleanse ourselves. We're going to do water lore again. We're going to do... There we go. We got all of our effects back. We're going to use wizards. And now we're going to use all of our area effect abilities. As you can see, they cannot interrupt my stuff even when I'm flying through the air because of Call of the Valar. Now, all of these, it doesn't matter because they're just going to blow up. But as you saw there, pretty handily took out the boss with his add-ons. I did, however, just so you guys do know, I did use Wisdom of the Council, and then I did use Call of the Valar, which reset all of my area effect abilities. And they cannot, even when it has thrown me through the air, it does not interrupt my inductions. So I was actually landing those while I was flying. Alright, let's see if we can take out this last boss. I'm not quite sure, but we'll see. So remember, fire, lightning, staff. Now, if you want to, like I said, you can actually cast this twice. Let's see if it shows it here. Yeah, burn slow. Burning Embers just teared up. So it's doing extra damage. And remember, every time Burning Embers on and Fire Sigil is on, every pulse with the Fire Sigil is actually still disrupting and causing extra damage. And then every time any of the fire is on and lightning is on, it's also going to do extra damage. And that also counts for the stat. So even if you don't want to use like this ability, Lightning Strike, which why not, the cooldown's pretty quick. You can use Lightning Charge Staff as long as the Lightning Charge is still happening, and it will do that extra fire damage with Lightning. Alright, we're going to do a little Water Lore before, because this is going to be a big effect. We're going to throw this on first. Fire. And then we're going to do Area Effect, which is Storm, and then Ring of Fire. I'm going to switch those around, because I will be using Ring of Fire. Okay, so we're going to grab this guy. Ooh. That was almost a nasty roll. Which, what I would have done, I would have done Call of the Valar, so then I could have accessed my area effect had I pulled that guy by himself. We're gonna cleanse ourselves because we don't like to be poisoned. Oh, he just walked. Alright. There we go. Now we're just gonna put the embers back on. Because we want to get that lightning. Oh, he just... Alright, same thing here. We know the worm comes out. Another thing is, too, in order to know your staff is ready, the ability itself will blink. See how it's blinking down there by control 1? That's when you know it's fully charged. We're gonna knowledge upon this game. Now this time our lightning won't be back, so we're going to use our as our lightning damage. And then the lightning should be back. Boom. Now we know a worm was coming out, because if I don't interrupt them in time, a worm was coming out. That's because I think after a certain level, in order for these dungeons or these instances to tier correctly, instead of making the mobs like tougher and stuff like that, they add a worm that spawns at the end of the fight. Which, if you've done delvings, you know that that's a thing. That's pretty cool, and they changed that daily to delvings. Alright, we're gonna do this again. We're gonna walk all the way through. We're gonna do area effect damage because it's very. Now, another thing is too, this is a hard pull that I'm about to do now. This is 3 of the strong ancient burrowites. Why these are so strong is they each have very elite, and they have each one of them will spawn a worm at the end of the fight. That's when they die. So very nasty. So what I'm going to use is the bear, because I want to fear one resistant. So we're going to use our lore again. I'd have to use some abilities I didn't want to use yet. Yeah, I didn't really want to use my one, but what can you do? When the guy resisted, there's not much here. You have to try to kill it. Otherwise, they'll do it for minutes. So I'll use Waterlore as much as I can. I really wanted to keep this other one around. This ability here, Wisdom of the Council. And you'll see why in a minute with this bad pull. Now, I'm pretty sure I cannot take this. But yeah, I think throughout the whole dungeon, besides this last boss, that is the nastiest pull in this dungeon. That last 3 one you just saw. So I guess I could wait for the, I could wait for everything to cool down. I don't think Call of Valar will get rid of those abilities that I have. But definitely I could wait on the area effect. But I feel like I'm not going to survive this. So we might as well do it anyway and just get it over with. So another thing is, I'm going to come to the corner here. I'm obviously going to use this. Come on, let me use my worm. Okay. So we're going to use the biggest damage we can. We're asking a lot. We got one. We might be. Ah, that was. So we tried. It was fun. We killed the first guy, but all in all, that was pretty good. Had I had my Wisdom of Council and I hadn't wasted it on that resistance on that last pull to the end, might have went a little bit different, but probably not too much. All right. So with that, we're gonna go through the rotations one more time. Once again, I will only open up with Burning Embers and Wizard's Fire because I want these two with the traits that I'm in Redline. All of my lightning damage does extra damage because there is fire on the target burning. Also, these two Wizard's Fire and Burning Embers, they stack on each other. They will actually increase each other's damage with every pulse. Also, Burning Embers does tiny little, well, actually not tiny. 3% is quite a bit. In this game, percentages is always more than just standard numbers, just because it's a percentage of the whole instead of just like 10,000, of something. So I personally like percentages in this game. They seem to be more powerful, more stacking. Obviously, that's not true if the number's ridiculous, but for the most part, that is true. So I like to do those. I like to do Lightning Strike after that, and then Cracked Earth. Then, if anything's near me, I'm using Fire. I'm using Ice. I don't always use Cracked Earth. Sometimes I may use Lightning Strike or Staff Strike and Staff Sweep, which is the area effect of my staff. Well, you saw me use Power of Knowledge, especially if, like, towards the end, there's nothing left. Damage will not interrupt the drain, and it gives you some power back. So it's not. It's 3,000 damage per second. So it's a pretty nice ability. I use it sparingly, just because of the cooldown and stuff. I always have Bane Flare with me, no matter what loadout. Red, blue, or yellow. I love that ability. I do use the bear quite often on multiple pulls, just because the bear does do a 15-second fear on 5 targets. So that's my single target rotation. If I'm fighting a boss, I will add Nature's Fury to it. And if it's just the boss by itself, I'll use Call of Lynx instead of it. This is a way to debuff stuff, but I don't, I mean, it's good for, like, ranged targets, Call of the Ravens. I probably should have used that on the boss at the end. That's actually a better way, because he does use a bow, and that would bring him into my Ring of Fire, which probably would have finished him quicker. Okay, so up here is lightning stuff. So this is my lightning, my fire, but area effect versions of it. Lightning Storm is devastating. Ents Go to War is a devastating area effect, and so is Ring of Fire. Sticky Gourd is decent. Also, it does a little bit of debuff. But these three they're awesome. Now, another thing is, once you use these, they all have kind of like a minute cooldown. I think every one of them does. Yeah, minute 15, and a minute. You can use Call to the Valar, and it'll reset all 3 of these abilities. So remember that if you want to be able to use them twice, or you kill something fast and you want to be able to kill another group fast, or just something bad goes down, like a boss gets on you on accident, you can reset them with that. Also, this doesn't interrupt any of your casting, so you might want to use it for that as well. Okay, with that, you can, if you have Burning Embers on, you can always use this to apply to other, actually spread the fire to other people and burn a little hotter. So it's really up to you. I don't always use it, but I do use it sometimes. Water Lore, it's a 10-second cooldown, initial heal, and a hot over time. So it's one I always like to keep on, and the 10-second cooldown, and it's actually is on for 32 seconds, so you can use it over and over. It's a nice ability. Wisdom of the Council is a way to kind of get out of jail if something goes really bad. You can heal yourself with it. Obviously, Knowledge of the Cures. This is another one that can heal you as well. And then, obviously, I have a Racial, which is Strength of Morale, which is another Racial. Other than that, I think that's about it. I guess I should go over Clever Escape, which is going to take away of all of your immobilization skills. But other than that, you're pretty much going to put fire on, use lightning to make your fire more powerful, use area effect abilities to make things really nasty when there's a lot of mobs. And I think that's about it. Use your staff when you can. And the pets here are used for a limited time, and they're not out all the time. So just know that. And there's a little bit of a cooldown on spawning. But other than that, I think that's about it. So thank you guys so much. As always, it is an honor and a privilege to get to make these videos for you. I'm very excited to share this one with you. I think that's about it. Obviously, check me out. If you want to leave comments, you can. If you want to check me out streaming nightly, you can go ahead and find me on Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok. I think that's about it. But thank you guys so much. We're very, very close to 1,000 subs, which is absolutely insane when I started doing these videos less than a year ago. I cannot believe it. You guys are absolutely awesome, for real. This has been such a great experience, like, for real. And so thank you guys so much. And until I see you in the next video, may the hairs on your toes grow ever longer. Thank you guys so much.